Hey everybody, welcome to Tax and Accounting Tips. Short videos designed to get you a bigger tax refund, protect you from loss, or just give you peace of mind that if the IRS comes knocking at your door, you've done things right. Here's a question I get a lot. I'm starting a business. Should I form a corporation or an LLC? It's a great question. And it could be a move that could save you a lot in taxes. And if you ask an attorney, they'll tell you you can get some personal asset protection too. But be careful. What you don't want to do is to pay people like me and attorneys more in fees than you save in taxes. I've seen it happen more than once. You go to a real nice seminar where there's someone sells you on the advantages of forming a really slick and confusing multiple LLC structure. And they talk about how much it will save you in tax. But what they really don't mention is that you're going to have to be married to them for a long time to pay the astronomical fees just to keep it going after you create it. Because even if another professional takes over, your tax preparation from them, it's going to be so confusing that, that they'll have to charge you a high fees because it takes so much time and effort to understand it. So just be aware of it and don't fall into that trap. But here's the basics. If you want to form a corporation, an Inc., I-N-C, right, or an LLC, limited liability company, you should go to a business attorney. They'll charge you a one-time fee of about $600 to create it, or you can go on the internet and get it done cheaper, but I wouldn't recommend that. It's too easy to miss things if you do it that way. So do it right and go to an attorney. Now, the first thing you have to tell the attorney is, what do you want? Do you want to create a traditional corporation or an LLC? My recommendation is an LLC. I'm not going to explain why right now. It would take too long, but just remember I'm suggesting that because it gives you more flexibility down the road as your situation changes. But you get your LLC, and let's say you're the only member of the LLC. They call it members in LLCs, not stockholders like in corporations. Well, if you're the only member at tax time, the IRS is going to act like the LLC doesn't even exist. In fact, they even call it a disregarded entity. So where do you record the income and expenses for your business transactions? They go on the owner's tax return. That's your 1040. And you enter them right on Schedule C of the 1040, the income and the expenses, just the same as if you were a sole proprietor. See, the IRS disregards the fact that you're an LLC, but legally you still have the protection offered by a corporation. So I just saved you $600 because you don't have to pay me to do a corporate tax return now. Sounds great, huh? But there's one problem with your new LLC, and that's called Social Security and Medicare tax. You've seen it on your paychecks. It's called FICA, or Social Security tax, right? But when you're self-employed, they call it self-employment tax. It's really the same thing. And I'm going to use that phrase interchangeably throughout my talk here. So anytime I say self-employment tax, think Social Security or FICA tax, okay? Now, when you're a sole proprietor or an LLC, you get hit hard with self-employment tax. It's 7.65% of your profit times 2, so roughly 15% of your profits gets taxed before I even talk about federal income tax. And it's a flat tax, so even if you make a little bit of money, you're going to have to pay 15% of what you make, period. It gets expensive. So what a lot of people do is make an S-Corp election on their LLC. That's a form that we fill out, we send to the IRS, and it basically turns your company into an S-Corporation. You may have heard of it. An advantage of an S-Corporation is that you no longer have to pay self-employment taxes on the profits. Great. But the disadvantage is that now you have to pay yourself a reasonable salary through payroll. Now, payroll is a pain in the butt, and you'll probably just want to outsource it to a payroll company. That will cost you a little bit. Now, when you have payroll, what comes out of your paycheck? FICA and Medicare tax. It's that darn self-employment tax again. So you're still feeling the pain of that FICA tax, but it's okay to keep your salary relatively low. It just has to be reasonable, whatever that means. So the big savings is that all profits over and above your salary are self-employment tax-free. And at 15%, that can be a big tax advantage. Think about it. Say your company generates $100,000 in profits and you decide to get $40,000 of profits in your pocket through a payroll check. You'll pay 15% FICA tax on that $40,000 salary, but no FICA tax on the $60,000. The 15.3% of $60,000 is over $9,000, big savings. But keep in mind that you still have to pay federal taxes on the whole $100,000, of course. So the savings is only on the self-employment tax part where you saved. Federal taxes use a graduated income tax rate, and that makes it less painful. So it's not as painful as far as a flat tax is concerned on Social Security. Oh, and there's one more thing. If you make an S-Corp election on your LLC, you're going to have to pay us to prepare a corporate tax return each year. And that will be at least $600, or possibly a lot more. So those are the basics of forming a corporation. Bottom line is there could be a big tax savings. But let me know if you have any questions, and you have a great day. Give us a referral. Thanks.